like,
That's why I don't leave late morning.
You took 75 of them.
Better just
I mean, in the old
One night in
days,
Squirrel Lake and.
Yeah.
a year ago or whatever, we couldn't have traffic lights. We didn't have electricity to stay on long enough. But now, we do have electricity, but we still don't have lights.
Hold
Do you
on.
guys have Wi-Fi yet? though? That's the big question.
Pardon?
Do you guys have Wi-Fi
Oh,
yet?
yes, we do, believe it or not.
They took that to replace the gerbil.
Yeah.
With Wi-Fi.
We are getting right on the par around here.
now he needs public toilets.
Yeah.
That's a far fetch.
And last year was smoke signals. Up on the hill, it worked really, really good.
But we can tell you what the price of a bushel of corn is.
I bet you could, and I didn't know.
Well, at this time, in the absence of Sheriff McDonald as the vice chair, I'm going to call this Pollyant Trail Management Council meeting for October 17, 2018 to order and pay respects to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Don, will you lead us in invocation? please?
I will. Please stand. Okay. Dear God, we are asking for your protection and power over our trail and our communities. Thank you for the beautiful fall weather and all the glorious colors, especially on the trail. And thank you for this council and its members and their safe and beautiful communities which they serve. And please help the hearts of our recent vandals which have defaced our beautiful trail. And please be with us today as we meet and deliberate the business of the Pollyant Trail. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Don. Okay, before we get started, I emailed out some proposed motions for the meeting and I also left a copy on your, in front of your chair there. So that's just to assist us to maybe get through the meeting motions on there. So the first item of business is the approval of our agenda. So motion is in order if there's no changes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. So if you call the roll.
Okay, Mike McDonald, absent. Curtis Wright.
Here.
Elgin Nichols here. Bruce Pearson.
Here?
Okay. Aaron Watley. Here. Donnie Steele.
Here.
Sue Basardic.
Here.
Eric Sent.
Here.
Kevin Green.
Here.
And Linda Moran.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. So now the first item of business will be the approval of our agenda. So motion is in order if there's no changes to the agenda.
Sir,
I'll make a motion if there's no changes to approve the agenda as written.
Ms. Wright, I have one item to be added. And it was, I wanted to discuss the Michigan announcement for the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation.
So new business item 8E,
Yes,
8E, Ralph C. Wilson.
it's the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation announcement that they did this morning. I attended that with they're giving $200 million, $100 million to Southeast Michigan for trail development and park development. So it's pretty exciting.
Okay,
I know. I get to meet the governor.
so Sue will need an amended motion.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Any second to the motion?
Support.
Okay, motion by Sue, second by Elgin to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. Next, we have the consent agenda for approval of the bills, treasurer's report, and the trail manager written report. Donnie?
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as written and also approve the payment of bills in the amount of $3,721.19.
Any second to the motion?
I'll second.
Second by Eric Snuff. Okay, we'll take a roll call vote. Elgin, if you call the roll, please.
Mike McDonald, absent. Elgin Nichols, yes. Bruce Pearson.
Yes.
Curtis Wright.
Yes.
Aaron Watley.
Yes.
Donnie Steele.
Yes.
Sue Bassardi?
Yes.
Eric Sant?
Yes.
It's forward.
Motion passes on that. Okay, public comment, no public is present, so move on to the citizen representative report. Kevin, any report for us? I do not. No report at this time. We'll move on to the trail manager report.
All
Linda?
right. Well, everything seems to be doing very well on the trail. I'm very, very pleased up until Monday afternoon. Wood Trail is, the repairs have been done to Wood Trail. We are still waiting to have the repairs done to the trail side, the damage that was done to the pumps. They keep assuring me 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So the end of the 2 weeks is the middle of next week, so if I don't hear anything, I'm going to call them again. The RCOC has been asking us for payment of the invoice of the $4,600, which I informed them that we would not be releasing payment to them until the repairs are done to our satisfaction. Once the repairs are done, we'll release payment, and then we'll get the payment back from the DNR. I did talk to Paul Yuck today, who's the head of all the trails in Michigan, and he is aware of that. And I told him that we would not release payment and not submit for reimbursement from the DNR until the trail repairs are made. He's very happy about that. He's like, keep up the good work.
Does that include the gravel too?
The gravel and everything. So it's just, it has to be graded, the gravel, it has to be relayered, and then, it has to be rolled and compacted, and then the surface material has to be put on top. It's gonna take them a day to do it, they just gotta get on it, but we've gotten pushed to the back. Once they got back from the strike, the small jobs are kind of falling to the wayside, but RCOC has already paid them for that, so RCOC wants their money. I'm not giving it to them until they give us what we want. So they've got pressure on Infant, Tara, and Heidi, who's project manager. She's aware of it, she's working on it. The Clarkson gazebo. ITC has turned down a request to put the gazebo near under the ITC lawns. The wire fall is too close to where we want to put the gazebo, and they feel it's a safety issue. We can put it on the east side of the trail, closer to Rhodes Road. I'm gonna have to get a hold of Tammy in Orion Township to see what the setbacks are as far as putting it there. We're still looking for confirmation that we're gonna even be able to move that thing. We may be looking at maybe offering it to the Rotary in Oxford to see about putting it in our future park that we have at the back of the parking lot at Merge. So we're still working on that. We're still fact-finding. Powell Street Park, at the end of Powell Street in the village of Oxford, the trees have been purchased, the trees have been planted, it's starting to come together, it's looking very nice. Still waiting on the cement, but it's gonna get done, I have faith. The asphalt in Oxford, Birmingham Seal Coat did the trail, they sealed the cracks, it really looks nice. I mean, they did a nice job. I'll be sending out the final payment out to them this week. Pure Michigan, I should be submitting it shortly for review. I'm going to send it out, you guys take a look at it. I have letters of support, I have photographs, I have just about everything I need. I just need to put it all together and it's ready to go. The new map signs that we did, all 10 of them have been installed. They look great, everybody loves them. It's fabulous. I'm very, very pleased with it. Mile markers, Max is working on it. So far, as of today, he's raised $1,315.85 towards the project. So he's working really hard on it. We have, later on, we have been reimbursed for some expenditures that I paid for earlier in the year. They were reimbursed to us under the Pollyanna Trailway Management Council's name, and I'm willing to donate that $550 that was basically a repayment to me through the council. One, if I can get a tax credit, not signed by me, and two, if we can put it towards those mile markers, I'm willing to donate that $550 back to that project. So if that's okay with the council, I've got no problem, as long as we can put it towards those mile markers. Because I really, really want to get those done. I think it's important. The Tamview Lakeville encroachments. The Lakeville Bridge has been removed. Everything looks great. He was very compliant, very nice about removing the bridge. We had another gentleman call concerned about a bridge he had next to that bridge. I was unaware of it until the vertical cut was done. It sits down, it sits back, it doesn't interfere with travel on the trail, it doesn't interfere with maintenance of the trail. It's not affixed to the earth, it's a removable type bridge. It's just a walkover bridge. I told him that I didn't have a problem with it as long as it was removable and it did not impede the use of the trail or the maintenance of the trail. It's just kind of a small walkover bridge. His son was handicapped and was using that as a wheelchair entrance and exit to the trail. His son has passed, but he does have some friends that are in wheelchairs, so they want to access the trail using that low bridge. I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't interfere with anything, but I also told him that if you guys approved it, that he possibly should come to the council and ask for a handicap permit to make it known that that bridge is there, and it's been approved for handicap use. He also has a gate on his property to kind of cordon off that bridge, and I told him that I also didn't want to call every day saying somebody's trespassing on his property. If he wants that bridge and that access, he has to assume the risk. I don't want to hear about it. Tamview. We've been waiting till the fall to clear out the Tamview site, get rid of that old metal fence from the spring. The time has come, we're gonna have to do something about it. We were approved at 2 council meetings ago, $500 to have the Oakland County Jail prisoners come out and help remove the brush and remove the fence. I've been out there looking at it. I've talked to Curtis, I've talked to Mike about it. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of brush. I could get Wham to go out there and do it for free, but I have no place to put that brush. I mean, we're in the township, the village. I can't just throw it over on the berms. We have a huge amount of brush. That fence, once we pull it out, I've got to do something with it. It's a long fence. It's big, it's heavy, it's rusty, it's old. I got 3 quotes from 3 different tree removal companies, the best being father and son. For $1,200, he will come in, he will remove all that brush up to that fence line, and he'll bring his bobcat in and pull that fence out and dispose of all of it. $1,200, you know, it's up to you guys what you want to do with that. I think it's a pretty good deal. We don't have to assume any of the liability, we don't have to assume any of the risk, we don't have to look for a place to dump all this stuff, because this is a lot of stuff. Curtis has seen it, it can be done. We can pull it all out, we have no place to put it once it's pulled out. I don't have a chipper, I don't have a disposal site, and it's in a neighborhood. So that's that on the Lakeville and Tamview encroachments. Roland, we are working with the DNR and Consumers Energy to get 1244 Roland gas before winter. I talked to Paul Yuck today, who's the head of the trails. He is aware of it. He is totally fine with it. He's going to talk to Nikki Van Bloom, who's our DNR rep, to see if we can't get that letter signed off to get the permit done, hopefully within the next couple of days, so those homeowners can actually drill under the trail and have gas installed in their house for the winter. The Leonard Pit toilet repairs, I don't know, Bruce, if you were able to get the estimate?
I didn't get the estimate, but he did look at it, and he did say he wouldn't put a whole lot of siding on it. He says this can be repainted and the fascias replaced
Good.
and the roof done on it and just repainted, and he thought that would be fine. It didn't need a whole lot of new material on the outside. He thought it was sound, you know,
Good.
but that's up to the council if they want to put all new outside on it.
What was his price on it?
Well, that I can find out,
Okay.
but it would be
A lot.
pretty reasonable.
Okay.
A lot less than what we were seeing before.
Yeah, the prices we had before were astronomical, but he's just saying it just needs to be spruced up and new boards on the ones that are needing replacing, and he wouldn't put a lot of money into it because it was still sound. You know,
Good.
so.
Did you say roof?
Pardon?
Does it need a roof? Did
I
you
think
say-
it needs new shingles
It
on
needs
it.
a new roof and a new, the fascia on the roof.
The fascia
is
that's
starting
some
to
of
rot.
the rot of it, that's just a matter of replacing them and then painting them. Sure.
Good. So, so that's, we're on.
I can come back with that and we'll see what we can do on getting it fixed.
The vertical cut was done recently here. It turned out great. It's the third year we've actually done it. The more we keep up on it, the better the trail gets, the smaller the debris is, the better the outcome. I have some photos, I don't have any way to display them, but I can show you after council. It looks great. It's cut back, the trail is open. I'm terribly pleased. And with George's help from Rochester this summer in Orion, I'm happy. I can't be more pleased. So it's really looking good. Our bridges are clear, we've trimmed all the bridges away, we've gotten some new signs up in Orion. It's really starting to take shape. I'm very, very pleased. We have, since I wrote this report, have had one request for a new event, but that's on the agenda. And that storage facility is on the agenda, so I guess that's it. Everything's going great. So we had some graffiti. Took care of it best we can. Looking good. And I have photos of the graffiti before, during, and after the cleanup. So I can show you.
Okay, on this report, Linda's underlined 4 items on here that she's looking to get council direction on. The motions that I put out today, there's 3 of them that I proposed to approve. The council's in favor of that. The other one for the $1,200 is item, what is that? Item 9B for the father and son removal. So I guess we'll address the first one before we approve the report. Does the council want to approve the 16 map signs at $204 per sign installed? And move forward with that, to get that completed?
I'll make that motion that we do accept that at $204 per sign, total cost of $3,264 for the signs, 16 of them, is that correct?
Yes. And that will do the entire trail. So we'll be completed.
And the signs are being purchased from who?
That is from Lake Orion Designs. They just moved over on Johnson Road. They do a great job. Super good people to work with.
I'm sorry, Lake Orion what?
Lake Orion Designs.
Design,
Yeah,
okay.
graphic
Thank you.
and design.
Okay, and then this, I guess Donnie, maybe this is a question for you. Where are we against the money to?
Well, we had all those budget adjustments, we could probably have to make another budget adjustment, right?
Yeah, you'll have a couple to make, depending on how these are, if they're approved.
Maintenance and ground, 298, 853, 932.
932, okay. Okay, we have a motion from Bruce Pearson. Was there a second on that motion?
I'll support it.
Okay, we have a second from Sue Bizzardi to approve the purchase of 16 map signs from Lake Orion Designs at a cost of $204 per sign installed for a total cost of $3,264. Elgin, will you please call the roll on that?
Sure, and again, what expense account is that coming out of?
Maintenance of grounds.
Maintenance? Okay, very good. Okay, roll call. Mike McDonald, absent. Curtis Wright.
Yes.
Elgin Nichols, yes. Bruce Pearson.
Yes.
Aaron Watley.
Yes.
Donnie Steele.
Yes.
Sue Bassardi.
Yes.
Eric Snett.
Yes.
Confirmed.
Okay, the motion is carried. The next item underlined here are the mile markers. Max is raised to $1,315.85, leaving a cost of $1,384.15 to complete the project. So, council, if you're in favor of purchasing mile markers, 18 of them, and contributing to the cost, the motion is in order to move that project forward.
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion that we approve the amount of $1,384.15 as a port, as the remaining portion, correct? For the,
Yes.
for the mile
Yes.
markers, right?
That's our portion of the
Yeah.
cost of the.
For 18 mile markers. And the account, I don't know what the account is.
I'd say equipment and hardware. And there's money in both, but you'd have to make adjustments to the adjustments
Okay.
Okay.
for the final budget.
What company are we getting those from?
That is going to be from Poly Products.
I'm sorry, what was it?
Poly Products. They're actually in Milken, Michigan. Actually, these mile markers are recycled milk jugs. And it's a Michigan company. In Milken, Michigan.
You said Town Products?
It's Poly, P-O-L-L-Y, Poly
Okay.
Products.
Like Polly and.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was kind of funny. But, and it's recycled compressed milk jugs.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion on the floor from Eric Senf. Any second on that motion?
Support.
A second from Elgin Nichols to approve the purchase of 18 mile markers with our portion from the Pauline Trail Council being $1,384.15. Elgin, will you call the roll, please?
Okay, Mike McDonald absent. Curtis Wright.
Yes.
Elgin Nichols, yes. Bruce Pearson.
Yes.
Aaron Watley.
Yes.
Donnie Steele.
Yes.
Sue Bassardi.
Yes.
Eric Semp.
Yes.
Carries.
Yep, that motion carries as well. The other one that Linda brought up is the old map signs. She's indicated that people are interested in these old map signs. And Linda, I guess I'll let you expand on what people have been asking you about the old signs.
Well, several people know that we're getting new map signs. Several people were out there when we were taking down the old signs and putting up new signs. We have had one volunteer who comes out quite regularly, George Ingram. He offered $100 for a sign. He said, you know, I'd love to have one in my man cave. So he said, I'll give you $100. I know. And I also, a couple other people said, hey, that's a really good idea. You know, I wouldn't mind having one of those, you know, just, I don't know why, people have crazy things. But if we can get $100 out of these things, which I think is not an unreasonable amount, that would help offset the cost of the new maps. I mean, the maps installed are $204, if we get $100 a sign, you know, we don't quite have 26 on the trail, but, you know, and a couple of them are damaged, that wouldn't be, you know, worth selling. And I think the one that's at the Leonard Trailhead, we should keep for the mill. I think we should keep that one for the mill. So when they do get that done, and it becomes a museum, you can actually put one of the original signs up there. I think we should keep that one. So basically, I'd like to, instead of dumping them in the dumpster or sending them to a scrapper or something, let's give it a shot and try and sell some of these things.
How would you propose to advertise this?
Yeah, good, you should ask. We have, you know, you have the eBay situation, but we have the Orion Oxford garage sale sites, the, you know, all that type of media that people just love that stuff. And it gets a lot of foot traffic through there, and you can sell just about anything on those sites.
So I would assume that you'd take the initiative to take them there and sell them?
Yep, and it's actually something, we take a picture of them, we list them online.
Yeah.
We say, hey, we're selling these map signs, they're $100 a sign, anybody interested? Then people would say yes or no or whatever, and then we just arrange a pickup, they make the checks out to Pollyanna Trail, and come pick them up, and I have them stored at the
Well, I got an idea. How about all the townships that are involved with the Pollyanna Trail gets one in their facilities for...
$100.
Well,
Delivery's extra.
price, yes.
Thanks for the Christmas present, Eric.
But delivery's
I'd like to make a motion that we allow Linda to sell the old Pollyanna Trail map signs and any other junk we might have laying around.
That's all
But
good.
I'd like to make that motion. I think it's a good idea. If we're not gonna use them, they're just gonna end up in the Leonard storage. Otherwise,
It's a good
we
idea.
could use the money.
Yeah, I'll support that.
Okay, and is there a price that you want to have her
So
sell for?
whatever the market will bear, I don't think.
Whatever Linda can get out.
Yeah.
She thinks $100.
We'll see.
Unless it's coming here to go on the wall, it's $150.
Unless it's Charlie Brown.
Don't you worry, Eric has a good pension.
I know, I heard that. He said he was gonna buy 2 for here.
Yeah, I want the one with the bullet hole in it.
We got the one with the bullet hole, and it's been cut. It's a prize. I'll tell you.
Linda, how many signs do we have?
Right now I have 7. There's a couple that are damaged, probably another sellable, 8, maybe 7. I'd have to really take a look at them, because a couple of them are damaged, they do have bullet holes. But if Eric wants to buy with bullet holes.
So you said we had 7 or 8 or 15?
About 15.
15.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion by Bruce Pearson, second by Sue Bizzardi to authorize Linda Moran to sell the old Pollyant Trail map signs for whatever price she can get on them. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You want one?
All right, 150 delivered. 100 if you pick it up. 120. 120? All right, but you know, but you're gonna pick it up, right?
We'll take the bullet hole one.
Okay, is there any
If I
other
don't have
questions
enough, I'll make sure there's
for
some.
Linda's trail manager report? If not, a motion is in order to receive and file.
Make a motion that we receive and file the manager's report.
Okay, motion by Elgin Nichols, second by Sue Bizzardi to receive and file the trail manager report for October 2018 as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, we're on to new business. Pollyant Trail Management Council events. Linda, you indicated that you didn't have one, but now you do.
I do. One came in, it's for Grace Center of Hope. It's a 5K, and it's for September 21st, 2019. So it's going to be, it's a ways out. But there's Grace to the Finish 5K run walk, hopes to raise funds for Grace Centers of Hope, a shelter that aims positive change in the lives of homeless, addicted, and abused. And I don't see any problem with it. It's I don't have any insurance or waivers or anything done yet. That will come. They're going to do it closer. They just wanted to get the date reserved. So I'll have more information in that as it comes along. But it's going to be Saturday, September 21st, and it will start in Orion Township.
Is that okay to approve it the prior year to it? I don't see an issue.
Yeah, there's
with it,
no,
but
yeah,
I don't
I'll just put it on the
think there's
calendar for next
stipulations
year.
around
Yeah.
Council, that's not the year.
Just remembering it.
Yeah, I'll put it on the calendar. September 21st, usually there's something with the library walk thing, but we can finesse that. We can send other directions and stuff, or we can switch that if that's something.
Okay, if the council's in favor of approving the Grace Centers of Hope run for September 21st, 2019, a motion is in order to approve. There was a motion by Donnie Steele, second by Aaron Wiley to approve the Grace Centers of Hope run for September 21, 2019. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Okay, the next one is the material disposal sale authorization for the trail manager. Linda's put together in your packet her attempt to try to sell unused or unneeded items and would like authorization for herself and the chairperson of Pollyant Trail to make the determination to sell the items. So Linda, I'll let you expand on your proposal.
Basically, from time to time, we get signs or things that are donated that we don't need or can't use or get worn out or something. Basically, lighten our load of stuff. Sell it, dispose of it if it's broken. A lot of these things, a couple of weed whips, we've been cannibalizing to get other weed whips to work. So we've been kind of doing that. I've got one more I'm kind of taking apart for parts. You know, just basically take it off the inventory list, put it in the recycling, or as far as like bat signs, sell them for whatever the market will bear. I mean, if it's something large, expensive, I would definitely get the council's approval, but this is like just stuff. Yeah, just stuff.
Council's pleasure, anything?
Make a motion.
I'll make a comment.
You want to comment?
What I'd like to see, Linda, is if you could provide the council a list of the inventory you'd like to get rid of. So if this motion does pass, they're aware of what you want to get rid of.
Definitely.
Because maybe one of the council members say, well, wait a minute, we don't necessarily want to get rid of that piece of equipment.
Okay,
We had to get rid of it, and somebody on the council doesn't agree with it.
perfect. I'll present an inventory before I get rid of anything.
Yeah, because putting the decision now under the chairperson herself,
Excluding the signs, though.
excluding signs.
Correct. Okay. Right now, I've just been cannibalizing stuff.
You can make a motion.
Okay. I move to authorize the trail manager to dispose of or sell Pollyant Trail Management Council, ATMC, materials so as to effectively manage the inventory of the excess, damaged, or otherwise unusable, and upon approval of the chairperson, the trail manager may then make the necessary arrangements to dispose, sell those items approved by the PATMC chairperson. Trail manager will include such authorization and conditions, if any, in the monthly trail manager report. Any funds generated by the sale of such items shall be immediately transferred to the PATMC, and the inventory adjusted to include the name and address of the person purchasing this material, with condition that a list is provided to this council.
Okay, I have a motion by Algin Nichols. Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
We have a second by Eric Stump to approve the trail manager and the chairperson to determine the disposal of items under the ownership of the Pollyant Trail Management Council. Let's do a roll call, Algin.
Okay. Mike McDonald absent. Curtis Wright.
Yes.
Elgin Nichols, yes. Bruce Pearson.
Yes.
Aaron Wadley.
Yes.
Donnie Steele.
Yes.
Sue Bassardi.
Yes.
Eric Sent.
Yes.
Okay, passes.
Okay, that motion carries. Okay, next item 8C are the 2018 budget amendments. Trail council members, you have in front of you the 2018 budget amendments. You'll see a reduction in revenues of $14,250, as well as a reduction in $2,356 in expenses. The amendments will balance out at $68,165. Now, that's changed earlier with our two motions that we approved. But when you look at the last two expense items, the PATMC sponsored event expenses and grant expenses, we haven't expended any money in there. So I don't know if that's plan, Linda, that we would expend any of those funds out of there. That PATMC sponsored event expenses was earmarked for the zombie run. I know it didn't happen last year, my first full year on the council. I don't know if that's the plan to come back again.
As soon as I get some of these bigger projects out of the way, get the maps done, get the trail in order, get some repairs and some necessary upgrades done, I'd like to. I think it's a kind of a fun event. And the Back Road Derby, which had been going on and was requested to happen this year, also was canceled because low attendance. So, I'd like to get it back, but I'd like to have more attention. I would like to be able to give more attention to it than just next week I got to deal with that kind of deal. So yes, I'd like to bring it back next year.
Well, I was on the council when this happened, but as far as the zombie run goes, was the council satisfied with the event? I don't know, Aaron, Donnie, I don't know if you were on it or not either.
Wasn't, but we heard good feedback.
Yeah.
on the event.
It was a fun event, we had a low turnout, and where we made the money was on sponsorships. We
Okay.
never made any money on actual registrations, we lost money in fact, but we made a lot of money on sponsorships. So
Okay.
hopefully that will be the case.
All right, just another note too is that to balance this budget, we open our fund balance $6,595 as well. So just so you're aware of that, unless there's more revenues coming in that aren't here between now and December 31st. So if there's no further discussion on this, there is a motion that was handed out. If that works for the council, we can approve that as well.
So how do you fit in the, sorry.
Oh, the amendments?
Mm-hmm.
The amendments.
Just make Joe go back and fix them. You have to
Right.
adjust all of
You-
the
you-
revenues.
you adjust those. Now, what we could do is not do anything and bring this back next month once those are in the budget. And Chairman McDonald will be back, you can take a look at it as well. So if that works better for council, to have more updated figures to amend. Because there's a possibility you might come back in December with more amendments. So go ahead, Don.
Okay, well, we don't have a meeting in December, right? So we have, by November, we would need to get the finals. So do you have any other upcoming expenses that you see that in the next month so that when we have our next meeting, that will be final for the year and we can close out our budget and get ready for the following year?
Minimal. There are 2 retaining walls that need to be put in Madison Township, but I'm talking probably less than $150 for both of them. Mostly rock that need to be installed. One between Gerst and Boardman, and one closer to Lake George, between Lake George and Curtis. There's some washout on the trail that I want to get addressed before we go another winter with it. I'd rather get it now when it's small, instead of letting it kind of percolate. So that's 150, but that's it. I mean, I don't really foresee any other things coming up.
Okay. Can I make a motion to table this until next meeting to finalize these numbers that we just approved for the repairs, and then her couple numbers, and then,
Okay.
and have it adjusted, and then
Sure.
we can do the amendments and the budget. I mean, other than that, I think it's works fine on my.
So we'll postpone it until the November council meeting.
Maybe I'll sell all the ramp signs and
It's right,
trade that.
equal options are recommended.
Maybe I'll win the
Or
lottery.
maybe we get a grant.
Maybe get grant. I will, we did get approved, and we did finalize the planting of the trees. So we should be getting the money we expended out for those trees, because we had to pay first, and then the grant, the DTE grant people will give us the money back. So that should be coming, but of course, it'll probably be next year before we see that money come back. So,
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor from Donnie Steele to postpone the budget amendments until the November Pollyant Trail meeting. Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Second by Susan Bizzardi. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, the motion carries. This will be presented back on the November board meeting, council meeting. Okay, next item, 8D, is the 2019 Pollyant Trail Management Council budget. And that's on the same sheet that was in your packet, and it's the far right-hand column. You'll see the proposed budget balancing at $69,915. I talked to Mike about this, and he thought that he was comfortable with it to go ahead and approve the budget here. So I didn't know if he wanted to wait till he got back for a full council. It sounded like he was comfortable in moving forward. Just one note that stood out for me is that to balance this will be digging into our fund balance by $20,000.
By how much?
$20,000. Our opening fund balance is approximately $79,000 this year. So it'll take a big hit if these numbers all come to in fact.
Have we already billed the townships for their share into all of this?
For 2018, we have,
When does the 19 one come in?
I don't know when the bills get sent on that.
What's the fiscal year for us here?
I
Is it?
think
Well-
Joe sends them out, Joe sends the bills out directly, and I'm not quite sure. I want to say April, but that may not be, I don't think that's true.
That doesn't make any difference anyways.
Yeah.
If we're
No,
not-
I'm just wondering how much we have and then how much we have coming in for the following year.
Well, the communities donate 15, 10, 23, and 18, and 8. So that's, what was that, rounded 15, 25, 27, 35, 37, probably about $38,000 or $39,000 from the municipalities.
We don't have any other grants coming in, so that's our money that we're running on, right?
Yeah, our grant, the $5,000, that was the monies received from Schneider Electric, majority of that.
Hopefully,
Sure.
next year, we'll be also receiving that additional $6,000.
Mhm.
But, again, I don't spend anything till the check clears.
And you can see, we budgeted $20,000 this year for grants or donations, and we received $3,500. So we were
Big
really
difference.
depending on something. That's a lot of work to get the donations,
Yeah.
to really have people say, yes, we'll donate.
You know,
Go ahead, Donnie.
well, you have on maintenance and grounds, we budgeted 23,000, we only spent, well, now we just spent 10.
Mhm.
So, I mean, here we have it budgeted for 22, so I don't know, I don't know if we have big plans, but I thought we did good with what we had, so I don't know if we need to make an adjustment there, and then it wouldn't take our fund balance down so much.
I would lean on Linda a lot for that number, because she knows what she would need to.
Yeah, maintenance
keep the
and
trail
grounds,
maintained.
yeah, going into next year, except for like repairs to the pit toilet you know, unless we have something catastrophic come up, we've got the new mat signs now, we have the new mile markers up. We addressed a couple of more washouts, and the trail is actually in very good shape as far as washouts, and, I mean, going into next year, we will need another vertical trim. That will need to be done, I think that needs to be done every year. I don't really see any big things coming up. I think this year, we kind of, we spent a lot this year on stuff, markers and that signs.
What else?
It would be nice to know when the fiscal year begins and ends, so we know kind of where we're at.
Well, you get your money, it's just a matter of when you plan to want to use it. You know, even if you don't get it, you can check the fund balance when you don't want it.
I gotta make a comment.
I think I'm-
Okay, so I just went to our Paint Creek Trail meeting yesterday, and their budget is $100,000. So I think that what we do is really frugal and great, and going back to the communities and asking for a little bit more, I don't think is terrible. The Paint Creek Trail is half the distance and twice as much money, so that's just kind of a comment, but you can make the adjustments and just, you know, I don't know what the other communities feel about, you know, what do we
I'd
contribute.
rather invest in the Pollyant Trail than the
Me
Pink
too. I'd like to take that budget
That's
adjustment.
nice to hear that.
That'd be a nice thought.
Well, I feel like we get a lot more with Linda. And I
If you
invest a lot less with Linda, which feels not right.
The reason I brought this up is because if you guys know the history here, there were several years that nobody ever sent a bill out to the townships, and we kept running out of money, we were spending money, and nobody ever sent a bill out to the townships. And it was finally brought to the attention that the townships or the entities had not been chipping in, and then we got caught back up. That's why I'm asking, when do we get billed again to make sure we have our money back, so we don't get in that spot where all of a sudden we run out of money again.
Joe, I can ask
You
Joe.
you can ask him or I can ask him.
Yeah, we can ask Joe. He's very up on that, and to say that I visit him frequently
And
and want to know what's going on.
we
is
did
it-
increase
Yeah.
the contributions here just,
Last year.
was it last year already, we increased them. I'm just,
5 or 10%, I can't remember.
right, so I'm,
Who sends those bills out?
Joe.
Right.
well, yeah, see, that was a problem before Joe took over.
It was Mark Ferber.
And we didn't have any, I mean,
He didn't
I
send
kept
them out.
screaming that we're running out of money, where's the
Right.
money? And all of a sudden I said, when was the last time that the townships contributed? And then all of a sudden the light went on that it had been several years before a bill had ever been sent out. So we finally all caught back up, but I don't want that happening again to tell my citizens that I had this huge bill because we haven't paid in 3 years.
Right.
Don't worry, Bruce, I'll always send you a bill.
Yeah.
10% was the increase.
We're changing, we're putting a little code on the door here that you can't get in.
Don't worry, I know ways. I know people.
I just like, the comment, the increase was 10% across the board from 2017 to 2018. So Orion went from 13.6 to 15, Oxford went from 9.8 to 10.8, Village, Addison went from 7.7 to 8.5, and Leonard went from 1,600 to 1,800.
So if there's a need for increased contribution, do you see your boards opposing it? And
What
you
did
think
the
they're-
vote on?
2,000, I'm sorry, I did skip.
There's no like to come back to them every year, I don't mind, I want, that's all, I just wanna know the facts before I have to.
200.
I think as
So
long as,
Exactly, that's not a bad idea.
I think as long as we control our expenses, I think that's a key point.
Well, then you brought up a good point, because, you know, if our maintenance is now under control, it's just the management of getting the two people maintenance on it, not for the more than 4 vertical cuts or something. Now you're down to twice a year, so that's something that can be taken into account. So,
Yeah, I think the last 2 years, it's been a growth process because it was so ingrown and it was so there was a lot of stuff that needed to be done in a short period of time. I think now that's gonna even out, and we can kind of take and look at things individually instead of as an entity. You know, the toilet, well, next year, we'll work on that next year. But that's the only big expense, other than the vertical cut and the mows that we really have. You know, I'm working on some grants to do some resurfacing, that sort of thing. So, you know, that'll be something that probably won't come on the agenda until 2020. You know, we'll work for it, hopefully get approved for it in 2019, but it won't happen, and the money won't come due until 2020.
And maybe a list of reoccurring expenses
Yeah.
would help the council out. You know, it's July, we know we need this cut every year,
Exactly.
July, we can budget for it. But as far as this numbers go, this council can approve this budget, because it's just best guess estimate of revenues and expenses and adjust as you go. So if that's what the council wants to do, or if you want to wait, or,
I would make a motion to accept the budget as presented and reduce the maintenance of grounds to 12,000 versus 22,000, which would bring the appropriations down $10,000, so we won't, it's half of cutting into our fund balance.
so you'd like to reduce revenue expense by $10,000 to $59,915?
Well, I think you just would have to make the adjustment of, instead of using the appropriations fund, just reduce the appropriations fund to $10,345.
Correct.
And, yeah, then it would just go on down the line.
Okay, is that your motion?
Yes.
Okay, we have a
Is there any
motion.
reason that we couldn't increase the contributions like 5%?
It is a possibility, it would just have to be accepted by, would be unanimous though, wouldn't it? I mean, if the,
We have, it still has to go through our boards. I mean, our board.
what we can do, and Elgin can confirm or not, we can propose this and probably budget amendments.
Well, I'd just like the facts, or if you can give us the facts when the bill's coming out, to see when we're
Okay.
replenishing our money. And if you could just give me that, I'm not opposed to adding money there, but I just gotta be able to explain it to everybody why all of a sudden we're coming back again for more money. And if it's reasonable, then it's not a problem, but I just need some facts, and we could have that for next time. But I agree that I would second to approve the budget.
Yeah.
Okay, the motion on the floor is by Donnie Steele, second by Bruce Pearson, to approve the proposed 2019 budget with revenues and expenditures balancing at $59,915 after the adjustment, reducing the maintenance of ground by $10,000 and the opening fund balance by $10,000. We need a roll call on this, Elgin.
Okay, Mike McDonald, absent. Curtis Wright,
Yes.
Elgin Nichols, yes. Bruce Pearson,
Yes.
Aaron Wadley,
Yes.
Donnie Steele,
Yes.
Sue Basardic,
Yes.
Eric Sant,
Yes.
carries.
Okay, the motion carries. All right.
And then,
Go
sorry,
ahead, Mike.
though I think that we should make another motion separately to go back to our boards and say, okay, let's do a 5% adjustment, because we haven't even hit Linda's salary yet, so I mean, we might need to make that adjustment as well too, so.
But before we do that, I'd like to know the facts.
So you got,
Okay,
You know, if
Yeah,
I
I
could
agree.
get if you could just put that out on paper so I can present it to my board.
we should bring it back to the November meeting to finalize and then
Yeah.
propose it for.
I'm okay with the raise, but I gotta show them why we need a raise, that's all.
Is that the number you want to move forward with, 5%?
5 or is that?
See, we already know.
I mean, for us,
Well,
I
it's about,
gotta know.
we're looking at 5% for us, that's $500.
and ours is 750, so it's like,
What do you pay as the Pink Creek Trail? If you're paying $100 per hour.
it's,
$36,000.
it's ridiculous.
What?
Yeah, but that's,
And I do the maintenance.
What?
and that's a community-owned
You're locked into
trail.
that.
Hey, Aaron, Aaron, I'll make you a deal.
It's not a DNR trail, it's a community-owned trail, right?
That's correct, that's correct.
Yeah, we could Bruce wanted to.
Yeah, because we don't get any extra money coming to help do anything. All the engineering, all the resurfacing, all that has to be done.
The community's actually on it, right?
That's right.
Well, I would say this then, just come to November preparing to discuss what percentage you want, you're comfortable with for the Pollyant Trail to operate out of approximately 2/3 of the budget and as approved. So we'll put that on the November agenda and see where it leads. All right, now we move on to item 8E that was added to the agenda, the Ralph C. Wilson
Junior Foundation.
Junior Foundation.
This morning I went down to Detroit to the Ralph C. Wilson Junior Foundation announcement. It was pretty exciting. It was the who's who of Michigan. Paul Yuck, who's the director of Michigan Department of Natural Resources, all the trails in all of Michigan was there. Kristen Wolfang was there. The governor, mayors, former governors, former mayors were there. It was rather exciting. They announced $100,000 of investment in Southeast Michigan, which trails and parks. $50 million will go to the Detroit Riverwalk. It will be renamed the Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Park. $40 million will be into complete overhaul renovations, expansions. $10 million will be an endowment to make it sustainable. That is a big deal. I was part of the interviewing process. They interviewed, I think, 48 people. What do you want this money to go for? We have money. How do you think we should use it, and how would it best suit the trail system in Southeast Michigan? And it was a unanimous sustainability. We can get new trails, but once we have a trail, how do we maintain them? And that was the big thing. Every single person commented on, we have no way of maintaining it. We have to go find that money after we get the trail. Thanks for giving it to us, but now we have to take care of it. $50 million of that $100 million will go into our trail system. So that will be $40 million into acquisition and connectivity, and $10 million will be an endowment for maintenance, basically. So we're going to set that up. We'll be able to get into that program. Grants will be given for not just new projects, but existing projects, things that we need. I'm really excited about it. $100 million will be going into Buffalo, New York, where the Buffalo Bills are from. Same thing, $50 million into one of their parks and $50 million into their trail system. So they're going to be getting 240 miles of new and upgraded trails in Buffalo. So it was a pretty good thing. I was really excited about it. I think it's going to be a real big positive thing for us. I know the Wilson Foundation helped with the camp, playground equipment, and that's above and beyond this $100 million. They do all kinds of, they're into social programs, education, children's, it's not just, this is above and beyond what they already do. So it's going to be some exciting changes on it. So I'm really happy about it, and I was really excited to be there. So Mrs. Wilson, the widow, stood up and gave a very inspirational little talk about her husband and all the things he used to do, and he would hate it knowing that he was getting so much publicity over it. But he just really a nice guy. So that was it. It was pretty enlightening.
So Linda, what's the process going forward?
They're going to be setting up endowments and then a funding process that will go through the DNR and the state. So once all the things are all worked out, they'll be putting out press releases and announcements as it comes through. But it's just the announcement that they've created this foundation, and now they're going to make it work. So they've got the money, and they're going to send it out to the communities and make it grow.
So we're going to compete for their dollars.
Further dollars. But, we were part of the fact-finding process, and we were well represented. The Pollyant Trail, we are doing some pretty amazing things out here. People are taking note of it, that we're working really hard to improve what we have and maintain what we have. And we're getting some notice for it.
I think
So,
you're working hard.
we're all working hard. So, especially those whammers. Those firm whammers are working hard. But, I'm pretty excited about it.
So you can keep us updated on that.
Absolutely.
On the progress. Anything else? On that? All right, if not, we'll move on to unfinished business. Item 9A is Wood Trail update. Linda?
2 weeks. Now that everybody's back to work, I spoke with Heidi, who's the project manager of that area. 2 weeks, we're holding the money hostage, basically. So I'm hoping shortly, 2 weeks. I'll keep you posted.
Okay. Anything else from the council on that one? Okay, if not, we'll move on to item 9B, the encroachments for Tanview and Lakeville. As Linda indicated earlier, for the Tanview encroachment, she received 3 bids, and in your packet, there was a bid from Alpine Tree Service for $3,500, and the bid from the Father and Son Tree Service for $1,200. So the logical choice is Father and Son on this recommendation. If the council is in favor of moving forward to remove the fence, post, the fence, and the brush. I do know from living right by there that there's probably 100 posts or so. that
There's
we
at
can
least
find.
100 in there.
And they are very solid in the ground, because I figured I'd go out and try to get rid of them on behalf of the Pine Trail,
Yeah.
but it would be a challenge.
Did you talk to Lonnie on this? Was that on Father and Son?
I did not.
You didn't talk to anything?
No.
Okay.
Lonnie?
So,
Lonnie's
We-
is
Tree
this
Service.
Lonnie's company?
No, Lonnie, I think Lonnie and Dave are brothers, but Lonnie's Tree Service and Father and Son are two
Okay,
separate
Two
ones.
separate,
Yeah,
okay.
Lonnie is Lonnie's Tree Service. And then, yes, sir.
Just to summarize this, if I may, they would take all the brush out
They would take it.
and all the fence,
Yes, and
post
dispose of
and
it. Yes.
and dispose of everything.
So we would have, it would actually be clear cut over there. My intent would be after they have removed all that fear of erosion, we would put down grass seed, native flower species, and some straw, just to prevent any possible erosion, because it is on the bank, it's on the side. And I don't want it rushing off there and now onto our paved section of the trail we just had repaired.
Are you gonna need funding down the line for this?
No, I mean, I have all the materials I need, so.
Who actually put the fence in? Was that the railroad that put that in
The
first?
railroad put the fence in originally, but the homeowner moved the railroad fencing down and added to it. And it's been there a while, and all those vines and trees and everything have grown into it.
I'd like to make a motion that for $1,200, that's money well spent. If anybody, I think that, give that to Father and Son for $1,200 is a bargain, so
Yeah.
that would be my motion.
I agree, I support it.
Okay, we have a motion by Bruce Pearson, second by Elgin Nichols, to approve Father and Son Tree Service to remove the fence and the brush at the amount of $1,200. Donnie, I imagine we'll expense that to the maintenance of grounds.
I would agree.
Aaron, go ahead.
The only thing I would say is I would ask for a revised quote to also put in there that they will be removing the fence, because there's nothing in the quote that states
Correct.
that.
I will do that. He added that on as a community service type project, that he would do that, he'd bring the Bobcat in, but I will get that in writing
Okay.
before we even sign the contract.
Go ahead, Donnie.
The guy that lives there is not responsible for any of this, and we couldn't make him, because we couldn't make him do anything anyways.
No.
Okay, and then, now is Father and Son the kid or the dad? Because you might pit them up against each other, they compete against each other, just.
I don't know, he's probably 50.
that's-
Yeah,
that-
the-
that-
yeah,
I
Dave
like-
Jenkins.
There's two of them, there's Lonnie and the other one, and I think we have the reputable one.
I
If that's what you're saying.
I think that Father is the better of the two, but I don't know if it's. Sorry.
That's why I questioned.
Would you like more bids?
No.
I agree.
No,
No.
that's a good
He
price.
just, no, you just gave me my answer, because I wasn't sure which one it was.
Yes, I know.
And it's a local company, he's right in Oxford, he's right on M24,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
Okay, motion and second is on the floor for a vote. Elgin Nichols, please call the roll.
Mike McDonald absent, Curtis Wright,
Yes.
Elgin Nichols, yes, Bruce Pearson,
Yes.
Aaron Watley,
Yes.
Donnie Steele,
Yes.
Sue Bissardi,
Yes.
Eric Stent,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay. Okay, we're on to the Lakeville encroachment, Linda. Anything on that?
It's all been taken care of,
Okay.
everything's
Deal
fabulous.
with there. On to the Pure Michigan application. Linda, you mentioned that in your bill management report.
I'm just finishing up like the essay portion of our program. I have our photos, I have letters of support. I don't see why we can't get it. I think that we have now complied with the things that we needed to comply with. We needed map signs, we needed mile markers. As long as we can prove that we're working on it and it will be completed within 1 year, we're a good candidate. I don't see why we can't get it. So,
And the deadline is when?
November 1st.
November 1st. And this will serve as far as a pure Michigan trail.
Correct, and then it has to be renewed every year after. So it's kind of a big deal. And Camp Agawam coming online with overnight camping, I think is going to seal the deal for us. With us being connected, because they want to see that it connects into other trails and that there are places that they can actually have multi-day events happening. With the camp, I think that's going to be, what sends us over the top. So,
Is there a renewal fee with the?
no fee,
Okay.
no fee.
So they're due by November 1st. When is the decision made, do you know?
December.
December, okay.
Yep.
So we'll know by the end of the year.
Yeah, and they'll be doing site reviews, because this is, I believe, the first year they're really expanding this out, that they'll be doing site reviews. It's gonna be a real quick turnaround. They're gonna announce it in December, and then from that point, every June after that will be the renewal date. So,
You're the contact on this, or is Mike? Or?
no, I'm in contact.
Okay, so you'll know, let us know.
Oh, yeah, you'll hear me scream.
Anything further on that? Council members? Okay, if not, we move on to the trail manager contract and terms. In your packet is a renewal for the trail manager contract, and this is for Linda, of course. You'll see that the contract is virtually the same as what she's been operating under. The two items that need to be determined here is the rate of pay that you'd like to pay for the contract and how many years or just a one-year renewal of the contract. And you see in your packet as well, the comparable trails that are managed, and as you see that our trail manager isn't even hitting the low end of the scale here. So we'll open the floor up for discussion. Connie?
I'd like to make a motion to renew the contract for 1 year with an increase of $2 per hour.
Okay, a motion on the floor to increase the contract for 1 year at $22 per hour. Is there a second on the floor? We have a second from Aaron Watley. Okay. Any discussion on that? Is there anybody that has any other ideas on what they'd like to see?
I think that's pretty low, actually, compared to others out there.
Okay.
We would still be the lowest paid. And for the amount of work that this lady does,
I know.
I think that's not enough,
Yeah,
in
but
my opinion.
I don't want to break the bank either.
I understand that.
Okay.
What is the thought of the rest of the council members here?
Well, my thinking, I'll open up anybody else. Okay, well, my thinking was, based upon Linda's performance, I'd hate to just renew it for 1 year. I would be open to a 2-year term and probably approve $22 an hour rate for the first year and probably move it to a $24 rate the second year. That would be a blended rate of $23 an hour. So I just think that, I think her performance speaks for itself. And I'm sure that some of these other trails would love to have her in a second.
I would amend my motion to do that, but I want, based on what the other people's feedback is.
Is there any way
Aye.
to do a performance bonus at the end of the year?
I would say there is. I'd say there is. I know that our Parks and Recreation does it, and we talked off the ground about that. I don't know if Horton does it or not. Yeah, but as far as I know, it's a way of giving somebody a raise without giving them a raise.
Yeah.
Is how I would look at it.
You do that on the
Do you?
cable commission.
Yeah. Elgin?
I think that's a good idea down the line, to have a bonus arrangement, and we need to consider that as another issue. But I do believe, rather than stage it for $22 an hour, that we should take her to 24 right now, because I mean, she's still at the lowest level, even at 24. And the amount of work and effort that she does for this trail, and a lot of things she does for no cost, I happen to know, and you too. I think she's well worth it, and every penny and more. I think $24, we should be able to come up with that, in my opinion.
Well, really, what you're looking at is, for every $1 an hour you increase, it's basically $1,000 against the budget. So that's what you have to deal with, you know. And if you're comfortable with $4,000 this year and $8,000 next year because of you two, no, that's not right.
My thought is you want to keep this person if at all possible. For this kind of money, I mean, she can go anywhere. I don't want to lose her. The rest of you feel, I'm pretty sure you feel the same. $24 is not excessive, I think, in this case. And it's an individual choice here in her performance, and that's what we're looking at. Somebody else maybe wouldn't be worth $24 an hour. I think she is very well worth that money right now, and we should bring her up to that scale.
But I don't want to break the bank.
No, I understand.
I understand.
We're looking at ways to approach the village and the townships at a percentage rate, maybe do something along that line if we have to. But I think that we have to be comfortable with our people that we have working.
You're gonna have to sell a lot of junk.
You know, Bruce, if you let me in your yard,
She's ready to
if
go
somebody,
now.
if Aaron would just leave the door unlocked, I'd have a maid.
My comment to that is, so ever since Linda has joined on the Pollyant Trail, it has cut our maintenance costs down. So I'm saving money through our staff by her hard work and dedication.
Good point.
So, I mean, I'm gonna spend that money anyways. We'd rather put it to where it's actually being used when the focus is put there, so. So
That's a good point. I agree with Elgin too. I think that we all need to realize what a jewel we have in our communities. And it's a jewel. It was semi-jewel, I'll say, before, but Linda has made it a jewel, and we want to keep it that way.
Okay?
And that's worth a lot. Not only to the people that use it, but it's worth something to every taxpayer that you have access to this.
Elgin?
Sue is absolutely right. I mean, I get all over Lake Orion, all over Oxford Township, and I talk to different people that use the trail, and they absolutely love it. And I've been out on the trail too, and I've seen all the improvements that are being done out there. And these didn't occur 4 years ago. They occurred while Linda's been in charge of this operation.
Sure.
Well, I'd say if we paid her for the amount of time she spends with us on elaborating everything, we were a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say, I do agree that, yes, I have been on this for a long time, and we've had many different managers, and some we've paid way too much for the amount of work, and some we've paid way too less for the amount of work. And this is the latter part of it, so I think that we probably should
We owe
give her a raise. And it should be probably the $24.
So is this gonna be for 2 years, a 2-year contract?
Well, I don't know yet because I have a motion on the floor, unless that motion is rescinded. Do we still?
I will rescind my motion,
Okay,
and then you guys can.
and you'll rescind your second? Okay. So that motion is now off the table. Kevin or Eric, any comment?
Just when you were talking about the justification to go back, and then you say that, she's paid the lowest, that's good information to say, well, here's other comparables, and she's below that level.
I have no problem with explaining, paying her the money to my council. I mean, I think they will probably agree too. They've seen the improvements on the trail, so I have no problem with paying the money to that. I would like to make a motion, unless you want to I'd like to make the motion that we pay the $24 an hour and a 2-year contract.
Okay, a motion on the floor, any second to that motion?
I'll se-
Go ahead.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Bruce Pearson, second by Eric Sump, to renew the professional services contract between the Pollyant Trail Management Council and Linda Moran for a 2-year term, beginning January 1, 2019, and terminating December 31, 2020, at the rate of $24 per hour. Any further discussion? Okay, Elgin Nichols, please call the roll.
Mike McDonald, absent. Curtis Wright.
Yes.
Elgin Nichols, yes. Bruce Pearson.
Yes.
Aaron Wadley.
Yes.
Donnie Steele.
Yes.
Sue Bassardi.
Yes.
Eric Sen.
Yes.
Passes.
Thanks, everybody. Jeez.
If you'd like to make another
No.
motion.
What?
Make her sign it, yeah.
Yeah. What, so it is
Not
like,
compete, you,
You
you
can't-
work for us or you work for nobody else.
None.
well, I'll tell you, only
You
for
go to the
you.
paint, no, you go to the paint creek trip.
No, no.
I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
So
my.
dedicated to us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
no,
somebody
no,
else.
no. I can, it may be half the distance, but I can't handle those meetings. Oh, God bless you, Donnie.
Wow.
God
Yes, it
bless
was
you.
1 hour.
Okay, Linda, you're on for 2 more years.
Yay!
If you would like to be.
Now what am I gonna do for the next 2 years? Let's see, what haven't I torn apart and put back together?
Will you just find
I'm sure
some
you'll
money?
find something.
I'll find something. Oh, I know, I got some money coming.
100 million.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we are on to the recreation 5-year master plan. Linda.
I have an appointment next week with Kristen Wolfang to get that thing set up. We're gonna get the Survey Monkey up and running, we're gonna start the survey online, we're gonna get everything put together. I have my new maps now. I'm going to be going. It's going to be done by December 31st if it kills everybody. But Kristen Wolfang, I talked to her today, she was also at that meeting. I sat right in front of her and we had a very long discussion about our 5-year plan. And she's been too busy to help, I've been too busy to push it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's been put back. So.
Kristen's with the.
She's Oakland County Planning,
Oakland County.
she's the map queen, she is probably, she walks on water as far as I'm concerned. I can't say enough good stuff about her, she is just magnificent. But her time is very precious, and to basically have her agree to help us is a huge thing. And it will save us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I think, what did Paint Creek spend on getting their 5-year plan?
They usually did it internally, but this year they're gonna go out and seek some help, and so they just budgeted an additional $7,000.
Yeah, so $7,000, and if we can just
Had
kind
to
of
pay you.
get it going.
I will say one thing, we're fairly, we're almost through our master plan, and we did incorporate some of the Pollyanna Trail stuff.
Good.
So as soon as I get a draft, I'd be happy to share that with you.
Okay.
And you can use our surveys, which relates to trails and green spaces, and you can incorporate that in your master plan, which might
Perfect.
save you some time. And
Yeah. Anytime we can get more survey numbers, and, you know, the more numbers we have, the better. I mean, it's, you know, you've got to justify how you set your master plan by public opinion. So we'll be doing that, so I'm hoping to have that completed by the end of the year, fingers crossed.
Is there a deadline, Linda, for this master plan, or is it just something we're doing?
We need to do it if we're going to go for passport grants and TAP grants and different things like that. If we go for the state grants through the DNR, we have to have a 5-year plan approved by them and on file with them.
by January.
So,
Yeah.
Isn't it already expired?
oh yeah,
Yeah, that just, not that I'm
Yeah.
calling you out, but it's.
yeah, it's totally expired. They know we're working on it, so basically, as long as you're working on it and they're aware of it, there's not much of a problem. But if we, you know, I gotta get it done. I mean, it's just, I keep finding Pure Michigan or, you know, something out there. And the summer is very hard to get any of that paperwork done because something's always going.
Elgin.
So this is a priority for next year for you,
Yes.
for sure?
Yes,
Okay.
it's gotta get done. And I've compiled everything I need to do. I'm now up to the point where I can put it out to the public to take a look at it, to get the surveys back. Once the surveys are done, then Kristen can put it all together for us and we can have it printed and listed on our website.
So we should
it'll
have
go-
an update on the next board, just as an agenda item for next month?
Yes, I think we should be able to do that.
Okay.
And then we'll be submitting to Pure Michigan in the next week or so, next 10 days, before the deadline. I'd like to have it in a few days before the deadline. And then 5-year plan is all I've got. That's all I've got going, so yay.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to the update at the
Yeah.
next meeting on that one. The last item on unfinished business is the Leonard Trailhead restroom repairs, and Bruce has indicated that we may get less cost for repairs, so we'll pretty much address that issue and be on the next agenda for what we want to do with that. So just no further comments, questions, or discussion on that item. We'll move on to old business, which we have none. No public is present. We'll start with board member comments. Eric, start with you.
I'm good.
You good,
No
Sue?
comments. Everything's going good.
Anything from you?
Just that, congratulations, Linda.
Thanks, thanks, guys.
You do a great job for our
Thanks.
trails.
Makes me happy. Yeah.
Aaron?
Yeah, I'll say the same.
Mhm.
It was great. You do a good job.
Thanks.
Donnie?
You had your doubts.
I agree, and then we're moving very rapidly on the Clarkson Road connection to the trail. It's almost done, and we're almost done with the easements for the dirt connection to get to the Pink Creek Trail, so that's slated for next year. That's all.
Elgin?
Well, I talk about people that do a good job. I think Curtis Wright did a good job in filling in today. The other thing too, I'd like to comment with with Mrs. Steele over here, that her community is very supportive of the trail. Great job. I've been on this board maybe for a couple of years now, and very active. And I think very critical component, to this board. Thank you.
Bruce?
Well, I just say congratulations, and don't spend all that money in one place. But other than that, no, we're very proud of our trail, and it is being used. I hear all the people come through our farm, I hear them all. I never had that many people before, but it is on Saturday, you can hear the families coming through there, so it's really improved a lot. So other than that, I have no other comment.
Thanks, Bruce.
Kevin?
Congratulations as well, but I would like to comment on something Donnie said about the Clarkston Trail Connection. I've had a chance to ride that a few times to go from the Polly and over to Pink Creek. And that little half mile that you guys are working on, that's gonna be fantastic when that's done, because there's not much room along the roadway. It's pretty unsafe, but once you get on that boardwalk, and then on the sidewalk, it's very smooth sailing.
It's
Be a great connection.
It is, the asphalt, they have been following the asphalt trucks all month.
Well, also, I talked to Kristen Crater last week, and I was out there last Thursday, and there was an issue where it comes down from Allendale. I don't know how familiar you are. It was 12% grade, which is not ADA compliant, and I was actually talking to Mike Young of the Road Commission in regards to it. It goes down to 12% grade onto Pollyanna Trail. We've always had an issue with erosion and washout in that area because of the grade coming off of Allendale anyway. That would be just a highway. Kristen said that they will be paving 30 feet north of the Pollyanna Trail with asphalt, as soon as that trail connection is done. Because they are aware that one, it's not ADA compliant, and that there will be a washout situation. So that section of the trail, 30 feet of the trail will be paved. So that was in part of their plan.
They've
So,
already started cutting it out.
yep, they started cutting it out. And, because I was out there Thursday and I was having a fit.
Paid off.
Then I called Donnie, I'm having a fit.
You called the right person somewhere else.
Linda, you're not a board member, do you have any comments for us?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks,
I'd like to
everybody.
echo the board sentiment, Linda, you're a great asset to the
Thanks.
Pollyanna Trail, and your enthusiasm is endless, and we're great to have you here, and also to Orion Township and your board for supporting the trails. That is a great thing. So it's a good job.
I did want to add one thing. We're going to be done an hour and a half early. What are we going to do with all that time now?
I haven't adjourned the meeting yet,
There you are.
but I'm will take a motion to adjourn the meeting, if somebody's so.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 4:27.
I'll support.
Okay, motion by Alger Nichols, second by Sue Bizzardi to adjourn the meeting at 4:27. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Well, if anybody wants to see the vandalism before, during, and after,